Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This will be the final episode of the Launch 1.0 run. We will be finishing up the game during this episode. We are nearing the end of the game and we're finishing up one of the final milestones, which will be particle enrichment. This will give us one of the last production facilities for finishing the game. With this we should be able to produce nuclear pasta and some other late game items. Summer sloops. I think I've had the tech for ages, but never really understood the potential here for doubling the production of project parts. If I had realized this, I probably would have already finished the game, or I would be very close to that. These things are incredible, close to game-breaking awesome. Remember the large screen Meteor Valley from the last episode? This is the fix-it way. Metal and concrete, progress, exploitation of natural resources, death to local ecosystems in the name of corporate interest. I like it in some twisted way. It is a little too realistic, but at the same time, the bluntness and honesty of this is somehow so unrealistic that I find this enjoyable and are released from the real world. Real corporations are not this honest about the profit and what it takes to make profit. This power plant block was created to give me enough power to accommodate the increased power demand of the particle accelerator. For creating the nuclear pasta it probably would have sufficed, but the later tier items and the increased power demands of the summer sloops caused some issues with the fuses. In here I also used the diluted packaged fuel recipe to give the power production an extra boost. The power fluctuations actually got so bad that I had to build some power storage to give myself a little bit of a buffer. Another thing I realized is that we can do something even crazier with the summer sloops. We can double the amount of power shards we get from slugs, and we can quadruple the amount of DNA capsules we get from alien creature remains. This will give us a lot of extra resources, and we can use those awesome shop tickets to boost the endgame speed. To fix the energy fluctuations, there were a few solutions employed. First was building the power storage, and here is one of the banks I have. The second solution was geothermal generators. I ended up building 4 of these, and the last thing I did was claiming more oil nodes and building more fuel generators. Let's talk about the failures on this run. First, the sky bridge. I like the look of it, and it is good enough for one lane. I was supposed to have a truck or trucks running over here, but that would have been impossible. This is good enough for one lane, but the trucks would have gotten stuck with each other if I tried running more than one here on the narrow bridge. I also wanted to make realistic looking buildings, so build supports for buildings, close them up with walls and all that. Well, guess how long it took for me to ditch that idea. Making good-looking foundations can be a real pain to do. It doesn't help that it is only for the aesthetics, so we end up with these floating structures and unfinished buildings. Well, there is always the next time and the next run. Here you can see a couple of failures. First we have the small storage facility. It never really got used. I think I used like 3 of the storage containers you see here. Then we have the truck stops. I only had 2 trucks deployed here and they kept running into each other constantly. So I eventually had to take one of them out of their route. I wanted to have 2 trains running on this track and finally understand how to run them properly. That never happened. I have a single train running on this track and I'm not going to waste my time trying to decipher how to make 2 trains to run constantly on this single track. I'll have to learn it eventually, so maybe on the next run. And don't ask me about the train signals, okay? The trains run, that is good enough for me as for now. The slopes below the train track are 4 meters of height. From what I have read, if you want the train tracks to work seamlessly with the slopes, then the slope should only be 2 meters in height. So we get these caps, or the tracks fall below the foundation when you use slopes that are 4 meters in height. Then the superstructure on the valley. It has this conveyor belt space beneath the main floor level. This is where I want to hide all the conveyor belts and the pipes. The problem is that I made this open area 5 meters in height. If I want to fit a conveyor lift there to move stuff from the ceiling to the ground, the space needs to be 8 meters in height. Our main storage. We have a huge amount of storage available, and we are storing practically nothing. We have maybe 5 of these pre-built blueprint blocks storing items. The rest of them are not even connected to the main transport lines or to each other. And below the storage containers we find the spaghetti monster. The conveyor belts do not intersect anywhere, but I was barely able to manage everything down there. Not being able to place conveyor lifts certainly did not help the case, and one of the main reasons why a lot of the storage containers are not containing any items is that it is a pain to run the conveyor belts down here. The train stations are nearly completely filled up. We do not have a proper buffer here, so they do not get emptied fast enough. Below the stations, the conveyor belts combine, which causes them to clog up as the main line leading to the storage cannot manage the amount of resources being transferred from the train stations. However, despite all of these problems, none of them are game-breaking. Sure, I could fix these, every one of them, but it really isn't worth my time. We are nearing the end of the game and I just want to finish up the game and see what the end game looks like. With the nuclear passer done, we can finish up phase 4 of Project Assembly. At this point, we are also reaching unknown grounds, as the pre-launch version never allowed players to progress beyond this point. Exciting times, to be honest. And finally, in phase 5 and tier 9, I was finally able to get the most important item in the game, the coffee cup. I have been storing DNA capsules for a while, time to sync them and see what we get. I'm loving this. Oh god, this is awesome. I love the summer slips. Time skip. As we're about to finish the game, let's have a look at what we have done and how we did it. Over here, all the rocket stuff and warp drives were done in this area. All aluminum processing also happened here. In the center of the main floor area, we are producing time crystals and the nuclear pasta. Further south, we are doing biochemical sculptures. In the southeast area of the main floor, we have buildings that produce dark matter crystals. We also have a single quantum encoder in here. We have been using this to produce all the needed items, and we have just changed the recipe and the incoming products when we need to change the output. We also finished up the last milestone, or so I thought. There is a known bug that milestones may not trigger if you are offline in Steam. So for example, when doing one of the milestones, I was apparently offline. This is annoying and really frustrating. Hopefully they will fix this bug eventually. The end is nigh, so phase 5 will be completed shortly. This is a good point to start talking about the future runs. So after this, I will be going back to playing Space Haven and possibly Project Zomboid at some point. I will still be doing a Satisfactory run. In fact, I already have an achievement run in the progress. I just reached oil production while editing this. Those episodes will be coming out once I get this out and them edited out. The run will be in full production until Space Haven releases the next alpha version of the game, and then I switch to that. Project Zomboid is also kind of in a limbo waiting for the next update, plus it's dark and rather depressing, which is kind of putting me off from playing it. Apart from the first couple of episodes in the Satisfactory run, the episodes will be short in nature and quite possibly shorts in format as well. I will probably be doing them in the background as Space Haven and other games take priority. But hey, we have finished up Satisfactory over here. The run is done, the game is done, we are good to go. I gotta say, I feel a little cheated here. I really thought that the Ada or the Fix-It company would give me the middle finger here, but that didn't actually happen. They actually appreciated my work. This is a rare feeling. I don't really know how to process it. Oh yeah, and we get this cool minigame here. There's also a lot of animation going on over here. I'm not gonna show you everything, just, you know, get the game, play the game. It's well worth your time and money. And as the credits start rolling, it's time to call it a day. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this run. Have a good day, enjoy all the good things in life, and I will hopefully see you next time with the next run and the next episode. Bye for now.